So, I'm speaking to Jenny. And Jenny, what do you do for your profession?
I am a business analyst. I work at Mass Mutual.
Okay. Tell them, I guess, a little bit about yourself, where you went to college, where you went to high school, etc.
I graduated from Valley Regional High School, and I went to UConn. And I didn't start off as a business analyst. I started off as wanting to be a math major at UConn, but I didn't know what I wanted to do with math. The only thing I knew is I didn't want to teach. And my freshman year, an upperclassman came to me and said, "How about actuarial science?" And I was like, "I don't know what that is. Let me check it out." And so that brought me onto a path of actuarial science. And for 15 years, that is actually what I did. I was an actuary for 15 years, and we can dive more into that. But now I'm a business analyst at Mass Mutual. So both math types of things.
Yeah.
And I do actually love working with math. It's lots of spreadsheets, but not always that. Just diving into analysis and understanding of more business side, not just math. So there's a lot that goes into understanding of actuaries.
Okay. So how did you get into the profession you are in today, I guess?
Yeah, no problem. So, like I said, there was an upperclassman who said, "Hey, how about actuarial science?" And so I did a lot of research in it. And it is a lot of math. It's a lot of finance. It's business knowledge. And then found a company that knew I wanted to stay in Connecticut. So I found a company that fit actuarial science, and that's how I knew that I wanted to stay in Connecticut. So I started working in a company in Connecticut. It was Phoenix Life Insurance. Hopefully that answers the question, but I can dive in more if that didn't answer your question.
So did your university give you that opportunity, or were you kind of on your own for that?
Yeah, UConn has a great actuarial science program. So if that's something that folks are looking for, math and actuarial science, that is where I started my career, was right at UConn.
Okay. So you did get your, I'm assuming, 4-year at UConn for your job, but is there any other education or recertifications needed for your job, per se?
Yes. So actuarial science requires anywhere from 8 to 10 extra exams. So you're probably familiar with being a doctor. You need higher education for being a doctor, but actuarial science is pretty similar. You need extra actuarial examinations, and it's not extra schooling. It's just you take them on your own, but companies usually support you. So you find a good company, you work with them, they pay for your testing, they pay for your study materials. And so that's the company that I worked for. They were able to support me through my exams. And so while I worked, I was able to take my exams, get paid more. And then, so while they're supporting me, I'm supporting them through my 8 to 10 exams. It changes every year. That's why I say 8 to 10. We'll just say 10.
Oh, awesome. All right. So, was there any particular moment that you knew that this was like the career? I know you said about your, how they kind of introduced you, but when you were in the field per se, was there any moment or any, big moment for you that reassured you in your career path?
Yes. So, like I said, there's it's 10 exams that you have to take. And once I passed my first one, so I was still in college, took my first exam, and I was like, if I don't pass this first exam, I'm done. I'm not going to pursue this anymore. I passed my first one, and I was like, okay, I think this is what I want to do. I know I can do one. I know I can do the rest of them.
Yeah.
So that's what I kept going. And then fortunately, a company hired me. And like I said, they kept paying for my studies, paying for my exams. And then in turn, I supported them by giving them my body, me,
Yeah.
my brain.
Yeah. So, how would you describe it to be, fresh out on the field? What do you do? Do you start as an intern and kind of work your way into that, or?
Yeah, good question. So I did do an internship, and I think nowadays it's way different than when I did it, but you do need an internship. And most folks start an actuarial internship right freshman or sophomore year. And so if that's something folks are interested in, they should start looking for that. And I think a lot of colleges do put that out there. They say they give you that information. But yes, I had an internship. And then from there, I went out again and I was like, hey, please hire me. And so that was the boost. So I had the exam, and then I had the internship, and then I was able to get hired. And so then there's other skills you either learn as you go, or you may already have. So you have skills you learn in college, like coding skills, Microsoft skills, Word, Excel. And then there's going to be company-specific skills. So depending on which company you get hired to, you'll have to learn about that company specifically. So you learn about life insurance or annuities or auto insurance. Usually insurance companies is where actuaries end up.
Yeah. Awesome. So I guess walk us through a day in the life of Jenny. You're going into the office, or how does your day start, I guess?
Okay, so I'm going to back up for a minute because while I did spend 15 years as an actuary, I did change jobs a year ago. So I did say that I was a business analyst now. Mm-hmm. So I did change jobs, and now my actuarial job would look not quite a bit different from a business analyst, but a little bit different. So as a business analyst, I'm going to tell you a little bit about that, mm-hmm. because that's what I'm doing now.
Yeah, sure.
So, but the business analyst job and the actuary job, they're very similar in that the structure of the environment is pretty much the same. So right now, I work 7:30 to 4. I'm pretty fortunate to have a very nice boss, and I think that that's really important when you come into looking for a job. If you get to choose between company A and company B, me personally, I'm looking for nice people to work with, a company that really believes in work-life balance, somebody who believes in flexibility, especially if you want to work from home some days, and right now everybody's working from home because of Corona, but things like that for me were really important. And then right now, as a business analyst, I work on a team of 12 people. So when I come in every single day, all 12 of us sit down, we have a chat, and we discuss our work items for the day, and then any issues we had maybe the previous day or the previous past couple days. And then we say, how are we going to resolve these kinds of things? And then really, what does a business analyst do? So I work with business folks, so like non-IT folks, and I assess what they need from my group. My group is an IT group. So if somebody needs data fields, or we need, I can't even think of anything else similar, but things that are outside of my group, what do they need? I bring it back to my group and say, how can we help other people outside of our 12? So that's kind of my specific role.
Awesome. So like you said, you meet with your group in the morning, and then what do you do as the rest of the day carry out? Is that networking with different people, like addressing the issues? What does the rest of the day look like?
Yep. So I do a couple of different things. There is definitely networking. It's a little harder now because we're literally sitting at home. If we were in a non-corona environment, there would be a ton of walking around, meeting, like literally talking with people face to face and getting to understand what folks need from my group. So that would be the networking. And then I would work at my desk, working with coding type environments. So I don't know if I want to list them all because they might not make sense to folks who don't use them, but Microsoft-based products, coding type products, analysis type products, and then just making sure that if the folks outside our area need anything, I understand how to use them and I can build from them. So talking with people, like you said, networking, but then also actually physically using the tools to build things for folks. So I do some of that coding type thing because I'm actually physically in an IT area.
Awesome. So what would you necessarily code for, I guess, to fix these like problems and like specific areas that your team addresses?
Yep, that's a good question. So, yep, I can be as detailed as you want. So, my specific area, so we're talking away from actuarial now. So we're talking my specific business analyst role.
Mm-hmm.
My specific area, we're building a data warehouse, and the folks that I work with, they are physically building a warehouse to add data. So making sure that all of the data is compatible with the rest of our company.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm reviewing the data, making sure that it looks correct. I'm not physically doing the coding, but I can understand it, and I can make sure that when people look at it, they will be able to read it correctly. So you say, hey, Kaylee is supposed to be marked as age 17. Yes, she's marked as age 17. Or she lives in Deep River. Yes, she lives in Deep River. That is coded correctly. So I do a lot of that validating and correcting. Or if somebody comes to me and say, oh, shoot, Kaylee is marked as living in France. That's not correct. Can somebody make that change? I go in and say, that doesn't look right. Let's go back. And then I talk to my team and say, what happened? Why is Kaylee marked as living in France? And then they go back and they check and they make sure. Yeah, that doesn't look like. Let's see what happened. So I do a lot of that liaisoning and seeing what happened, but I don't physically do the checking, but I can read the code and understand it. So my day-to-day is doing that communication, making sure that folks are not necessarily doing their job right because I'm not in charge of that, but if there's any bumps in the road, I can help evaluate them.
Awesome. So what do you think is the most rewarding part of your job, if there's anything?
So this is what I wrote down when I saw that question, because I'm an honest person. I do the things that come to my head first. I wrote down money, benefits. I get the weekends off. But then I thought about really, the other day somebody said to me, you really helped me. This really helped. So when I get that feeling of, honestly, somebody saying that to me, I really enjoyed that. So when I put a presentation together and I'm able to explain to somebody that, yes, we were able to fix your problem and this is how we did it, this is what went wrong, and they say, yes, I understand. Those are the kinds of things that I really enjoy.
Is there anything go ahead.
I was just going to say, I know that's kind of simple, but that's the first thing that popped into my head.
No, that's great. Yeah, everyone has a different rewarding part. And I definitely see where either weekends or helping people, I get it. So is there anything challenging that comes with your day-to-day job?
So literally every day is challenging, and it's challenging in different ways. And I think I mentioned that I just took on this job a year ago. So this job is still new to me. And even though I've been in the industry for 16 years, I've been in insurance companies for 16 years, I've been doing mathy things my whole life, I still have that fear of asking for help. So for me, that's my biggest challenge. And I think it's a fear for me because I don't want to seem like, this is the word I'm going to use, I don't want to seem like I'm a fraud. I don't want to seem like, oh my God, they hired me and I'm not going to perform the job they hired me for.
Yeah.
So this
Or
is
weak.
how I get over it. Yeah, exactly. And I mentioned that I have a fantastic boss. I have a really great team that I work on. I went through, no kidding, when I interviewed for this job, I had to talk to 12 different people.
Oh, wow.
It was a massive interview, but every single person I talked to was fantastic. And I felt very comfortable, even though I was certain I was going to get the job. I still felt so nervous, and like I said, I still feel nervous every single day. I still feel it was very challenging every single day. But I just get the guts and I ask a teammate and I say, hey, I need help. And guess what? They want to help me.
Yeah.
So, like I said, it's challenging every day. Just ask. People want to help.
Yeah. Great.
So, there you go.
Great. So, do you have any advice for teenagers, I guess, who are interested in whether it be actuarial science or business analysis?
Yes, I guess I would say it's very hard, but stick with it. Specifically, actuarial science takes a lot of discipline, but it's very rewarding. Even though I did switch careers, it was not specifically for me, but I did enjoy it the time that I was doing it. The other thing, too, is my career sort of found me. I was at UConn for math, but if I hadn't sort of let somebody say, how about actuarial science? And if I didn't kind of go with the flow, I don't know that I would have taken on the path that I would have. So I guess my only suggestion is just kind of don't kind of go with the flow if you can, in a way. That's not great advice, but don't fight it.
Yeah. I know this question wasn't on the list, but what was your first job? And do you think that your first job or your first few jobs impacted like how you're trained or what you do in your job today or what you've learned?
My first ever job was a gymnastics instructor. And I say not specifically. I have a good work ethic just because of the way I grew up, I think. So, no, not specifically.
I was just curious. I mean, do you think it helped you with your ways with people or anything with that as you would use in your business analysis job? I don't know. I think it's a cool question to ask people because some people will be like, yeah, my first job, I worked in a kitchen or I worked in retail and I learned everything about communication or networking. So, but.
Yeah, again, I stumbled into that job.
Yeah.
Because I did gymnastics as a sport growing up, and they needed somebody to help them on weekends. And I have always had good discipline, good patience, a good gymnastics ethic. Yeah. And I just have been I'm good at paying attention and things like that. And so I just rolled into that one. And so I'd say maybe 5% of that rolled into my work ethic, but I wouldn't say.
But mostly the way that you were brought up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd say so. Yes.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Jenny, for this interview.
Well, I'm so glad you asked me, and I miss seeing.
Thank you for watching this week's episode of Occupation Connection. If you enjoyed what you saw, make sure to click the subscribe button, hit the like button, and leave a good comment below.